Okay, welcome to Happy Hips and Shoulders for today. Beautiful sunny day on the coast. Not necessarily beautiful and sunny everywhere where you're practicing from, but hopefully the movements of today will leave you feeling a little more free and at ease as you walk through whatever it is that comes your way. As you sit tall, cross-legged, close your eyes. Exhale the breath fully. And then shrug your shoulders up towards your ears as you breathe in. And sigh them down and out. Breathe in, shoulders roll up. Exhale all the way down. One more. Bring your palms together, heart center. Taking this opportunity to honor yourself for making it to the mat, taking the time, making the effort. Sometimes is the hardest step. Bow your head inward to honor the land and the practice in which you are moving from today. The practice and its roots in India. The history of the yoga practice has deep roots. And your movements through the practice are just simply that, putting in your best effort and then feeling the magic that unfolds because of it. So much has changed in how we move and how we breathe. There is universal energy that continues. Our heart beats. Our energetic body continues to absorb and give energy in interactions, just as this. But also in the world, as things have been opening up and your experiences are shifting, there may be a change in your energetic body, your field. Be sensitive to it. Honor what you need. More time on your own, more time with people. Let's take an Om together to unite our space and time. Inhale. Release your hands and blink your eyes to open. We'll start today in a standing position. You can come up to your feet, and we'll just do a simple tap out of the chest. So we'll actually do both sides to start, and I like to use all 5 fingers. You can use 4 or 3, or you can even close your fists, sort of like that. Is it King Kong, I think, that used to pound on his chest, but any gorilla sort of has this energy, building the energy within, and an activation of the lymphatic. If it feels good, you'll pump away. You'll feel or hear in my voice a little bit of that vibration. And it is just that as energy moves in our body, there's a vibration when there's an external force, something outside of us acting inside of us. If you're listening to loud, pounding music, you're changing your cellular structure. You're listening to positive affirmations, you're changing your cellular structure. So in this moment, as you change the cellular structure, you're reorganizing how the body's working. Come right down the center, dump into the chest center, down, up and down the sternum, both sides. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Another deep breath in. Full breath out. Close your eyes. A couple more solid thumps. And then release. Let the arms fall, the eyes close. Feel into your feet. We're going to lift onto the toe mounts, lift the heels, and then drop them back down. Lift and drop. and drop, and let your whole body create this rebirth, this vibration. Try to let the arms fully dangle and release. Notice if you're holding your hands or holding your shoulders. Lift up and drop. Doesn't have to be very high, just up and drop, up and drop, up and drop. And then just get a little quicker with the up and drops. This is a known Qigong exercise to help ground you. If you're feeling really out of body, something's happened, you don't feel of this earth, sometimes that can happen mentally or physically. Ground into the earth. So a little thump down into the ground, into your mat. Shaping up the system. Reorganize. And land, be still, take a breath. Sigh. Sweep your arms wide, inhale. Overhead, palms together, exhale down through your heart center and towards the floor. You can open the eyes or keep them closed. Inhale, arms wide, sweeping the energy around you. Pulling in what it is you need. As you exhale, the hands come through your center line. 3 more. Inhale. Slow, deep breaths of Ujjayi. Not moving past the moment, but rising above it. And grounding into it. 1 more. As you release here, standing in Tadasana, and blink the eyes to open. Take your thumbs inside, fingers on top. Big forward arm circles. Starting slow, big and wide, just to the degree that your shoulders will allow. Don't force into anything uncomfortable. Then gradually start to make your circles smaller. Get smaller, smaller, smaller. You might find that things want to quicken or speed up, especially as we get tiny, tiny circles here. And you'll pause and reverse direction, tiny, tiny circles. Getting bigger slowly, slowly opening. Opening like you're opening doors, or like you used to roll down the windows, or I still do with my old band. Good. And then release. Shake it off. And we go the other way. So we'll bring the hands back to fists. And we started forward, so we're going to go big circles back. Big circles back. This is where we just left off. Big circles back, rolling down the windows, gradually making them smaller and smaller. I know there'll be a ache in the arms. Try to stay with it. Keep the arms nice and straight, nice and long. Get smaller, get smaller, get smaller. Little tiny circles, and then pause. Go the other way. Little tiny circles forward. Bigger and bigger, wider. Taking up more energetic space, physical space, and then let it go. Shake it up. And now roll your spine, so chin to chest. You might even feel a big flush of blood flow there when you release the arms. From the head to the neck to the shoulders. So as you release downward, at the very bottom, pause, so what you think is the bottom. Take another breath. Hold a little further. Your hands are here to support, but not to bear any weight. Let them be heavy. Little nod and shake of the head. Put some weight in your heels, lift your toes. Spread the toes, put some weight forward to feel more balance. Now slowly begin to ragdoll up to standing. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Vertebra. The top will roll the heads of the arm bones back. It's like a clearing breath. Open your arms nice and wide. Like someone was tugging them behind you. And then right over left and left over right, swing forward. Right over left, tap the shoulders. Deep breath. This one often feels very cleansing. You're throwing what got tight in the shoulders away and off the back. Have a great focus to our shoulders today, just to drop any residual responsibilities you might still be holding. You'll pause open and simply flip the hands, thumbs forward, right over left, left over right. Like you're cutting off anything that doesn't need to be in your experience. Now, this is your life, your body, your experience, and what infiltrates it, what impacts it, is what you let come in. The hard part is sometimes we let things in and we're not sure how to let them out. That can be challenging in itself, but can you cut off what's not serving? It doesn't mean to forget it, and doesn't mean to bypass it either, but to honor where you are and how you feel about something is really key. Let the energy flow, the emotion move, whether it's anger, frustration, sadness, joy. Pause, take your thumbs down, backs of the hands touch the other shoulders, and sort of sweep out of the way what you cut off. But sometimes we cut it off, but it still sits there, we're still staring at it. We need to move it out of the way. So whether it's a physical energy or an energetic, so whether there's just a field in front of you, like an energetic field, that is a magnetic field, that's just polarizing. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's stuff. You know, spring cleaning is a big thing right now, so we want to clear out the clutter. And then we feel more at ease to make clear and conscious decisions. And pause, relax. I'm going to turn around, so I want to show you this next one. You'll bring your hands behind. You're going to hold your left wrist with your right hand. Pull down. Now watch your ribs don't flare forward. Tuck your ribs in. So you're so wide in your back. I want to pinch the shoulders back. Take your right ear to your left shoulder. Pull down. Now it's a bit of a half moon in your body, so you're going to gradually send your left hip towards the left side of the room. The more the weight will come into your left foot. Don't let your right foot leave the ground or adjust in any way. Deep breath. Your head be heavy. You need to tilt the chin slightly down or slightly up to increase or decrease tension. Do so. Less weight of the hip to the side will also decrease the tension. Gradually, as you swing the hips back underneath you, you'll release the hands and use your right hand to tilt your head back to center. Take a moment here, breath in, and sigh. Grounding and anchoring into your feet. Reach around behind, this time your left wrist, or left hand holds your right wrist, and you pull straight down. So don't pull across, pull straight down. Tuck your ribs in. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Deep breath in. Right hip to the right side. Close your eyes to really tune in here. Let the head be heavy. Let the responsibilities that aren't yours fall away. Even those that are yours, please quiet them to the backdrop. They'll still be there when you're finished. Deep breath. Wave your right foot, your right hip. Press into your right foot, bringing the hips back underneath as you release the hands. Left hand to the left ear, cheek. Press the head back to neutral. Stand tall. Deep breath in. Sigh. Take the long edge of your mat and step your feet out to the sides. Turn your toes out, heels in. Now you can have your hands either on your hips or one hand in a light fist, opposite hand on top. Bend into one knee. Pull the hips straight back. Bend into the opposite knee. And come back up. Bend one way, the other, and tall. Now what's really key here is we can shift it into our lower body, but don't forget your upper body. Keep it relaxed, keep it settled down. Deep full breaths as you swing through. One more. And switch the hands if they're up in front. Keep the shoulders, elbows relaxed, and go the other way. And this is a movement you could do every day, every morning, just to gain mobility in the hip joint. So if it is an area, I would problem area for you in your hips. It's a really great one just to wake up to. One more. Pause at the top. Bring the hands over your hips and turn your toes in and your heels out. Release your arms down in front and then curl down vertebra by vertebra, softening your knees, ragdoll with wide legs. And when you reach what feels like the bottom, your hands are here to stop you from rolling forward. But send some weight into your heels so you don't feel like you are going to roll forward, and let your head go. You can hold opposite elbow or wrist and really let your arms fall out of their sockets. If your arms are resting on the floor, you could always clasp your hands behind your head and give your neck a bit of traction if that feels okay. Otherwise, just let the elbows rest on the floor if you're that far. You always have the option to bring your feet closer or further from each other to change the inner groin stretch here, the inner legs. Nod yes, shake no, deep breath in. Full breath out. You're letting things roll off your back here, down into your, if someone poured water on your tail, roll down your back, down your neck, and up the top of your head. Two more breaths. Keep weighting your body further down. If you feel like your feet are pushing away, try to tug them slightly inward. See how that changes your movement into this fold. Gradually and slowly lift up halfway. It's going to be a big flush of blood flow from the head to the heart to the hips. So I'm going to lean into your fingers, turn your heels in, drop your hips about knee height. Your toes are out, so you're in a what we call horse squat or a goddess type setup. Take one hand to knee, Then the other like a sumo wrestler and press up. And then straighten your legs, reach up, exhale fully, and then sit back into that squat of goddess, elbows wide. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, pull down. Wide at the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, straight down. Inhale up. And adjust the feet in or out as you see fit. No pressure in the knees. Really straight down movement, straight up. This is known as a really energetic building position. It's like pulling the energy of the goddess from within. Got 2 more. Last one. Now stand straight up. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your left toes to the top edge of your mat and your right toes turn to follow. As your right toes turn to follow, if you feel like you're on a tightrope, step your feet a little wider. Take your right arm to the sky, your left hand pulls your left hip back, soften your left knee as you reach forward, get long, get long, get long. And then bring your right hand either under your shoulder, onto a block, or fingertips to your shin, or perhaps you're getting closer to reaching the floor. You might actually place the fingertips down. Pyramid pose. Crown of the head reaches forward. It's really common here for your chin to come forward and your chest to drop. So remember that if your chin comes in, your chest comes up to greet it. So even though we're on a forward angle, we want to maintain the length. And you'll bring your left fingertips towards your shin or the floor and start to lengthen down your thigh. And eventually let your forehead and your crown of your head reach towards your ankle. For 3. Breathe a little more weight into your back heel. Back leg is nice and straight. Left leg getting straighter. On your third breath, you'll lift up halfway. Hand underneath the shoulder on the block or on the floor. Left hand to your hip. Reach all the way up, come up tall. Circle your right hand back onto your hip. And then pivot your toes. If you brought your block, you might bring it around to the other side. And you'll pivot around. Right toes point forward, left toes are swinging around. As long as there's no pressure on your knee. If you feel pressure on your knee, step out a little wider. Back leg nice and firm, nice and straight. Right hand on your hip. Bend the right knee a little. Left arm reaches up out of your waist. And then you're coming forward. Really long, slowly. Your hand comes down. Wherever you need it to be. Keep that right hip pulling back. It naturally is going to want to swing out to the side. Tuck the chin, lift the chin, or pull the chin down for the chest to lift up. And then eventually bringing your right hand down and folding over your right leg. The crown of the head start to descend. The fingertips, again, are here for balance. If there's a lot of weight in your hands, put the weight back in your feet. Play with moving your fingertips really lightly around on the floor. Tug the right hip in line with the left. Start to lift the crown of your head forward, chest comes up, hand can come to the shin or to the block. Eventually right hand to your right hip. Soft front knee. That soft front knee just means the muscles above and below the knee are working. Left arm long, reach up, reach up. You'll circle the arm. Catch the hips. And then pivot around to face forward. Now the feet are roughly hip distance, or a little wider than hip distance, but a little bit wider. So you're just going to toe heel out one more. Hips back, heart forward. Now as you come about halfway down, this sort of block is really helpful if it's hard to reach the floor. We don't want any rounding here. You'll have one hand either on fingertips on the floor or fingertips on a block. Turn to one side. The key here and why that's important is we don't want to round our back. We want to pull those hips back, get long. Keep that length and turn left hand down, right hand to your hip, and take your right arm to the sky. And naturally you're going to feel your left hip wants to drive towards your right toes. That's okay. Weight back in your heels though, and get lighter on your fingertips on the floor. On the block, we're going to dust the floor. Tuck the chin slightly and look at the floor. Soften your knees. For 3, 2, chest up. And then bring that right hand all the way down. Take a breath in. Weight in your heels, bow straight forward. Make sure toes are in, heels are out. Lift up halfway. Right hand down, fingertips, weight in your heels. The arm is straight. So if your elbow is bent, I want you to straighten your arms, your chest comes higher, and then rotate your left arm up to the sky. It's common that we end up coming forward with gravity, but we want to use the limbs as anchor points. So if the elbow is bent, straighten it. Open up your rib cage. For 3. Chin in. For 2. And then releasing all the way down. Bow forward fully. For 3. Weight in your heels for 2. A little weight in the toes. And lift up halfway. And when you're halfway now, you're going to lean into your hands or your blocks and toe heel your feet all the way back together. Coming from an outer stance to an inner stance can feel really different. Bring your hands to your shins and lift up halfway. Bring your hands onto your hips. Bend at the knees a little. Use your legs to come up with a long, tall spine. Good. Take a big breath in and a sigh. Step to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Sweep up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Lift up halfway and step your left foot back. Your left knee comes down. Lizard pose, right heel is underneath your chest. Toes out to the right side. So it's like you're a little clock with your foot. And as the toes turn out, the knee comes out, and your hands are on either side of your front foot. If your foot's way out to the side, it's going to change the position. So just make sure it's kind of right underneath the center. Then you can stay here on palms. You have a little weight in your arms here, but let your shoulders glide back. And try not to let your head hang here. Keep your head in a neutral place. Not here too long. We will add a little fiery if you want it. Either stay here or lift your back knee. Now if you lift your back knee, I want you to push into your front heel so your hips come back and you really feel some weight taken by your left leg. You're a little more 50-50. It's more like a 70-30, I guess. And if your knees are okay, knees are happy, foot is really active, you might lift one hand, the other hand, or maybe both hands. For 3. A little fiery. For 2, chest low, heart high. And then lower your back knee. Pull your hips back, straighten your right toes. Grab that block or prop that you've got. Hands underneath. Just a quick stretch of that front shin. Right hip pulls back. Chest nice and high. Now we'll add here a Hanumanasana full stretch. So for the back of the hamstring, what's key here is when the foot is flat, the knee can't lock out. But I want you to lift your toes up. Don't let your knee drop. It's common for the knee to lock out. Keep a little bend. Now if you have some space, slide your heel a little forward. Might adjust your block so it's more underneath you. Other option is your back foot. You can also walk your knee further back, just if there's some space. That doesn't feel available, don't push it, don't force it. You haven't done these in a little while, so stick with it. For 3, your front foot's like a gas pedal. It's like pushing out, but pulling up. So you put the gas on and take the foot off the gas as much as you need. And now walking back out the way you went in. Come back into a straight lunge. We'll sweep the right leg around behind. Oh, and feel good to release. And take a deep breath in. And lower your belly. Take a cobra lift here. Inhale, chest up, chin in. Forward and down. Exhale. Let's do 2 more like that, just to keep that extension and flexion. 1 more. Deep breath. Tuck the toes. Press up and back. Downward dog. Step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Big toes to touch. Sweep wide, come all the way up. Tall spine, arms overhead, hands to heart. Arms by your sides. Sweep up, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Other side, halfway lift. Right foot steps way back. Right knee comes down. Turn the left toes out towards maybe about 11 o'clock. Now the angle of the foot is key, but there's no wrinkles in your ankle. So what's key is the foot's really strong. Palms can be flat. There's a little more weight in the arms, but pillar them, and then shoulders slide back. Stay right here, no problem. A little more fire if you want it. Is the back knee first comes up. Now that's going to push you a little forward. So I'm going to push on your front heel so your hips come back. And you feel more weight taken to your right foot, less in your hands. Otherwise it gets pretty impossible to lift the hands. Strong in your legs, hips can come up, but you're gradually getting hips lower or as low as your heart. One hand, opposite hand. You might just dance that little side to side for 3, for 2, and then another 1. Bring down. As you bring it down, turn your toes forward, pull your hips back. Pardon me. And your block underneath. Prop whatever you've got, foot flat. Should feel good in that hip. Tuck it back as you need to. And again, the block is here. There's not a lot of weight in those hands. So touch points are light. Shoulders are relaxed. Remember those responsibilities you washed away. Let them stay away. And then you'll gradually start to pull your toes up with an active leg. You let the foot come up and your hips sit back. You can stay right here, but if you have a little space, you might send your heel forward. Or I like to walk and right knee further back. And if you go too fast or too far too fast, you'll know. You can be slightly hinged forward, but you're working towards getting taller. If you're in a position where the block sits under your hip, you can always use it in that position. Sometimes it's helpful just to find a balance point, and you're pushing your knee as much as it's necessary. We'll come out the way we went in. So you're pulling the front heel back, back knee forward. Come back into your lunge. Slide your left foot back. Ooh, feels good. Lower. Cobra snake lift up. Forward and down, exhale. 2 more. All right, now slide back into a child's pose. We've done a lot of movement in our hips, taking a lot of angles. I'm going to rest for a moment, weight back, hips towards heels as much as you can. If the knees are limited, hips are just higher. Accommodate where necessary. And gradually you'll find your way back up into an all fours position. We're going to free up that hip joint again, this time with some cat-cows. So in the center, you'll simply roll your shoulders back, let your ribs come down, breath in, and then round it out, breath up. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, curl it through. Good, one more. Just straight cat-cow. Then from your center, you'll kick your right leg out to the right side so the foot is flat. You need to adjust on your mat to accommodate for space, do so. And cat-cow again. Pull forward. Then round it out. Pull forward. And round it out. 2 more. As you come back to center, you'll take your right leg straight back, toes tucked under. Cat-cow. Inhale. As you round out, press into the mat of the foot. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Powerful in your arms, like pillars, letting the shoulders roll where you can. 1 more. And release your knee. A little break for the wrist. Sit up onto your heels. You'll flip the fingers down and towards the mat, towards your knees, and come onto the backs of the wrists in a little bulldog, elbows wide position. Hands as close or as far as you like for balance. And then you're starting to make your arms straighter. Now, as they start to go straighter, you'll probably feel more intensity. Try to keep every fingernail connected to the floor. Shoulders back, crown of the head long, long and forward for the neck. Slowly roll back out. Your wrists a little rest if you want to give a little flexion, extension of the hands. So flicking fingers can help. And go to the other side. So put it back onto palms, all fours. Left leg kicks out to the left side. Cat-cow, inhale. Round it out, exhale. Inhale. Be purposeful with every articulation of your spine here, from tail, middle back, lower back, upper back. One more. Take your left leg straight back, toes tucked under, leg long. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round it up. Last one. And then release your knee, come off your wrists again. This time, turn your fingers towards each other and coming onto the backs of the hands and lifting the hips up. When you lift the hips up, you're going to get a little more weight. Elbows start wide, but you begin to straighten. Yeah, don't force this, but start to invite the length to the backs of the arms. We spend so much time using our hands. Of course, our hands are controlled by the upper, first lower arm, then upper arm, and shoulder. Elbows don't have to get straight if you're working them over time. Shoulders back, crown of the head forward. Slowly sitting back, pulling off your wrists in a moment. Flexion, extension. Now let's take the arms just straight out in front, make fists. Just do a couple rolls. Flush those wrists out. Deep breath of Ujjayi, close your eyes. Releasing here. Big sigh. As you release from here, you'll stretch your legs around in front. And we'll take a Gomukhasana legs. So right leg on top of left. So knee over knee. You can do single with the left leg extended, or double it up with your left foot tucking towards the side of your right hip. Now add a neck stretch here. And we'll start with the fingertips down by the sides. And simply your left ear to your left shoulder. So we're really getting this long line through the right side. You can stay right here. This feels like plenty. I'm going to give two options. One is to take your left hand up and over and let the weight of the hand, where it hooks behind the ear, the fingers, just allows for a deeper assisted stretch. Option two, the left hand comes around and is held by the right, the right hand comes around and is held by the left wrist. So sort of like the standing variation we did earlier. So your left hand's gonna hold your right wrist and just accentuate that right side. Whichever one you've chosen, take a deep breath. Relax your jaw. All in your midsection, the breath flow. Relax your jaw. Whichever grip you've chosen, you'll slowly release the hands. Use your left hand to nudge your head back on top of your shoulders. And walk your hands forward. Let your ribs rest towards your thigh. You can have arms straight, fingertips, palms, or begin to melt over your thigh. And if it feels okay, get a nice long stretch through the back by letting the head come down. Go slow so you're paying attention to every little nook and cranny along the way here. Maybe give your elbows something to rest on. Slowly start to climb your way back up to tall. Lean back and stretch your legs out in front. To the other side, left leg on top. Knee on knee, single leg. Option to tuck the right heel next to your hip. This side I always notice that creeps up a little more. It's a little harder. You might sit on something. Give yourself the support. Start with fingertips by your sides. Deep breath in. Close your eyes. Right ear to right shoulder. Try to keep the ribs nice and stable, letting the head simply tilt. Your options again, right arm comes around, catches the outer ear, or you're reaching around with your right hand and holding your left wrist. Relax your jaw. Deep breaths of Ujjayi. One more deep full breath here. As you release the arms, you'll use your right hand to assist slowly the head back on top. Walk the hands forward to any angle that you're feeling that stretch through the hips, maybe to fingertips, palms, or eventually ribs to thigh. Perhaps forearms start to get closer. If they're close, maybe put some blocks here, a bolster. If it feels good, let your head come down, let the back of your neck stretch. Keep bringing the breath for a few more here. Keep melting your shoulders back, your head forward. You'll gradually start to climb your way back up. Moving back, stretch your legs around in front. Tap out. And we will lie onto our back. And as you lie back, bring your knees in for a moment. Give them a nice squeeze, feeling settled in your shoulders and your head. Extend your left leg long. Catch your knee with your left hand. And then a reclined twist here. Hips tucking under. Right arm reaching wide. Your head can stay neutral, or you can slowly turn your chin towards the right hand. Gradually unwind, come back through center. Bring both knees back in. Hold the left knee, let the right leg get long. Twist the other side, left arm wide, knee across to your right. As you come back around through center, give your knees a squeeze again. Open the knees and reach for your ankles or your feet for a happy baby. Let your shoulders draw back. If your chin or your chest poked up to the ceiling, can you draw the back of the head along the floor and draw the chin in? And then slowly bring your tail down towards the mat. When you're ready, you'll gradually release the feet. Make any final movements that are necessary to let you lie still and stretch your legs long. Hands either rest on your body, let your arms fall open. Deep breath in and sigh. Gift yourself these moments, stillness on your mat. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. But be and breathe. when you feel called to, you'll slowly encourage your breath deeply in, completely out. Your hands and your feet with a newfound awareness and connection. Eventually roll to one side. Back up to a tall seat. Keep your hands at heart center. You scan top to bottom. Take a sigh. Bow your head inward. In recognition of your time, your energy, and commitment. And